think the way to read the Bible is to bear in mind that it's written over a period of about 1,000 years and therefore captures different kinds of human consciousness in that time. If you go to the very oldest bits of the Bible, the bits which have been identified as the oldest fragments, they're almost mythical in their quality. There's Miriam shaking her tambourine, saying, "Horse and rider he's thrown into the sea." It's hooked to the story of the Red Sea and the crossing of the people of Israel. But almost that phrase, "horse and rider he is thrown into the sea," it's almost like a prehistoric ancient song that somehow captures a sensibility for the ancient people of Israel. I don't think it's supposed to be history. But then you move more into history, but always history with a purpose. So this would be the history books and then particularly the later prophets. But it's a kind of mythic history. What they're interested in there is how what's happening on earth reveals what happens in heaven. Much, much more than just what happens on earth, which is our preoccupation now. So you didn't go looking for the facts of what had happened. What you went looking for is the significance of what had happened. And a myth or a mountain moving or a stream dancing or angels appearing, that in a way was more important to these history tellers than the kind of history which we look for now, which is just really only interested in the facts. It was significance and meaning that the first historians were interested in, and that is a sort of middle chunk of the Bible. Then, when you come from what Christians call the Old Testament into the New Testament, a different sensibility begins to emerge again. There is a real interest in the historical Jesus, and I think Jesus was a historical figure. But again, they wanted to know about his significance as a historical figure. And so they borrow from different tropes. So for example, he was born of a virgin. This was pretty standard way of saying that this man's life didn't just have significance at the level of human affairs, but had significance because God had intervened. The same sort of thing was said of Alexander the Great, for example. So these are ways of writing that are supposed to invoke in you a felt sense of who Jesus was, not just, as it were, tell you the bare facts about his life, like when he was born and when he was died. So when you read the Bible, the idea is that it comes to life in you and you almost feel like you're encountering a person or at least a tradition, because I think the gospel writers were really savvy. They knew that their writings were going to last for some time. They knew the events that they sprang from had already passed. So what they wanted to know was how to bring it to life for their readers then and there and here and now.